Let's see if I even remember how to do this. Hey guys, I'm Tyler and welcome back to Learn the Logic, a series of videos where I talk about something that I built and why I designed it the way that I did. Today, I would like to talk to you about my miter saw station. So this miter saw station was built about 2 years ago and it was designed for my old shop space. We have since moved north about an hour and a half and it works perfectly in this space as well. Although there are a few things I would do differently since I have a little bit more room in the current configuration that it is in. So right off the bat, some features about this miter saw station. It's got 24 drawers and that's probably the best aspect about this whole thing. The drawers are absolutely fantastic. And then over here there is a folding wing which will allow you to cut 90 inches on this side of the miter saw blade. Obviously it folds down, allows you to get a little bit more storage in there. And again, that was something that was dictated by my old space because there was a bandsaw right there. I didn't want to have this up all the time. But it's actually a fantastic feature because it's not often that you need this much space on the left side of your miter saw blade. But at the same time, if that was table, it would give you a couple more drawers, which are also good things to have. Grab my notes over here so I know what I want to say. So what did I fix by building this thing? Well, obviously the biggest thing is I went from a little stand with a hood on it, and that was my miter saw station. It worked okay, but obviously when you got big pieces of stock, you cut it, it wants to fall off the side. Doesn't give you repeatable, accurate cuts like a flat table, a flat fence, and a stop block gives you. The stop block is absolutely fantastic. I can make some cuts, and then if I need to make more cuts to those same dimensions later on, it is spot on every single time. And I fixed not having all of this storage and just being a dusty mess back with the old stand and the chop saw hood. The chop saw hood did work well, and I actually did a Learn the Logic on that. I'll link to that down in the description below if you wanted to check out something like that in case you only have a stand for your miter saw and want to get a little bit better dust collection on that. So did any issues arise from building this? Obviously, it is a big tool to have in your shop. It takes up quite a bit of space, and I remember when I first put it in the old shop, I remember thinking, holy cow, this makes the whole space feel a little bit more constricted. And it did, but at the same time, gaining all of the drawers in here made up for that because stuff I had laying around in other spaces of the shop, I was able to put in all of these giant drawers. And I have some shallow ones here that are 22 inches deep. I got some really deep ones, and we got some shallower ones on the top here as well. So what did this thing cost to build? It is not cheap to build. There are 10 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood and 5 sheets of 1/2 inch. Plywood's running at least $50 a sheet, like $53 a sheet for 3/4 here in Michigan, maybe about $43 for the 1/2 inch. So it's gone up a bit, and you'll have to take into account 24 pairs of drawer slides, which also add up. But I found a great source on eBay where you can get the slides for about $5 a piece. I'll link to that down in the description below as well if you're looking for drawer slides or you're just looking for a great deal. So I do have plans available for this. They are $5.99 and you get 18 pages of colored plans. They look something like this, and it will have links to the drawer slides and some of the tools that you need, cut sheets for all of the different dimensions, and then the sub-assemblies as well. Now I do want to say that this is designed for a non-sliding miter saw. If you want to get a sliding miter saw version, I recommend you check out my buddy Jay from Jay's Custom Creation. Link to that in the description down below. He has his ultimate miter saw station. It's a similar design. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit wider, it's a little bit taller, and that's because it is designed to account for a slider, which has those big giant rails sticking out the back to allow your saw to slide. So if you're looking for a sliding solution, check out Jay's channel and probably purchase his plans, as you won't have to do any modifications on it. So how did I go about building this thing? The counters are all one piece. There's a piece here, here, and here. And then below them, there are frames, and each frame is individual. So I can disconnect it all and move it, which was fantastic when we were moving because I didn't have to take any of my tools out. I took it all apart, movers wrapped it, and we're able to put it in the trucks as is and unload it, and I was ready to go. So each individual frame is screwed together underneath, and those frames were assembled with pocket holes. And then all of the drawers are simple butt joints that are glued and nailed together. I've never had any issue with that construction, and I'll show you over on the end there, I got a lot of stuff in some of these drawers. I do have solid oak edge banding on the edge, which is now orange, and that was just to prevent any splintering or damage to the edge of the plywood itself. And all of the leveling on this is done with upside down T-nuts and carriage bolts. That's a super cheap way to go about leveling such a large structure, because your floor is not going to be even over the 166 inches that this is with the wing up. And these handles are a very simple design. They're 3 pieces of plywood glued together with a miter on the end. Super fast to batch out a ton of these and almost no waste. These are a design from another buddy of mine, Jeremy Schmidt. Link to his channel down in the description below if you wanted to check that out. So I mentioned 166 inches with the wing up. So I'll give you the rest of the dimensions now. With the wing down from this end to that, it is 138 inches. At the deepest end right here, it is 27.5 inches. And on the shallow end down here where there's no table, it is 15.5 inches deep, 70.5 inches tall to the top right here. I do want to make mention about the no table on the end, and that is because in my old shop, the doorway was right there and I didn't want to intrude into that entranceway too much. And I'm right-handed, so most of the stock weight is going to be on this side anyway, so I've never found a reason to have anything longer on that end. It will balance a full 8-foot piece of wood on that end if you do need to. So with the cost, how big it is, the space it uses in the shop, would I build this thing again? Absolutely. Every single project that I do makes it over this at some point in time. Usually when I'm breaking down some rough stock, and then when I'm going back to cut things down to their final dimensions. The chop saw hood is great at collecting almost all the dust. This is one of the biggest dust creators in the shop if you don't have decent dust collection on it. So that's fantastic. Having the stop block makes repeatable, dead accurate cuts. Would I change anything if I did it again? Based on building it in this shop, the only thing I would probably do is extend the table down on that end, mostly so I could have some deeper drawers on the bottom. I don't know if I would have designed it again with the wing, as there wasn't really a need in this shop, but with the router table over here, it is nice to have the wing to put it down and allow some storage behind there. The one thing that I would do is pay a little bit more attention to the drawer slide alignment. On some of the biggest drawers over on your right-hand side there, there's dual drawer slides, and the alignment on those is not perfect, so some of them you really have to give them a nice kick to close. So that's one thing I would really pay attention to. And then somehow, if I was to do it again, I would really just like to get some more drawers. I hope you guys enjoyed this Learn the Logic and understand a little bit about why I did some of the things the way that I did. If you want to build your own for a non-sliding saw, check out the plans down in the description down below. And if you guys have any questions about this, hit me up down in the comments. Or if you don't have a question and you just want to go down in those comments and say hi, go ahead and do that, because most of the time I'm out here in the shop by myself talking to a camera, and it can sometimes get a little bit weird. If you guys would like any other Learn the Logic topics, please let me know down in the comments down below as well. I'm DIY Tyler, and you guys have a good one.